Hey, it's Debbie Potts, and I am just on this mission to live our best life the second half of our life, improve how we age, right? So at age 50 something, hopefully, if you're around my age, you're starting to think, I don't want to look like that when I'm older. I don't want to be moving that way. I don't want to feel that way or have those injuries or that health issue that all my parents' friends seem to be struggling with right now. So if you are motivated to be fit and healthy from the inside out, even though my clients are often dealing with chronic stress, with digestion issues, gut health, a lot of that stuff we can take ownership of our health, learning what's going on under the hood, running functional lab testing, working on always first nutrition, exercise, sleep optimization, stress management, vagal nerve stimulation. We've been talking a lot about how to improve your heart rate variability. All that stuff is important. But what else can we do to get our health the best that we can when we're 70, 80, even like 80, 90, 100 years old? Because 70 isn't that old anymore. I have a lot of friends that are turning 70. My friends have turned 80. I've had friendships with a long time, and I can't believe they're 70. So 70 is not that old, but if I want to look like them and move like them, I want to start taking care of my health at a cellular level. So what I'm curious about, diving back into what I keep hearing everywhere, clinics around here in San Diego, NAD lounges, NAD IV, NIG injections. But as I like to do on this podcast, is to share my curiosity and how I go down these rabbit holes. So I look into things, I put them on my blog page on debbiepotts.net. This one's about muscle metabolism, mitochondria function, and the connection with NAD. So check out the blogs I've been putting together. Just kind of more notes. They're a lot chat GPT, obviously, but it just helps understand mechanism of action a little bit more in one place. So it's more what I want to share on the podcast is what are we doing now at a cellular level to improve how we age and starting looking at key markers of metabolic health, which I've mentioned before, I don't think are dated. I would say insulin should be looked at, but stable blood glucose levels, looking at your A1C, getting your functional lab testing done. Hopefully, you're getting your labs done not once a year, but every 3 months to 6 months. Looking at insulin levels, triglyceride levels, balanced body composition, looking at blood pressure. Those are important areas. The microbiome, making sure we have good gut bacteria. They help digest the food, absorb nutrients. Metabolism, we'll talk more about some podcasts on short chain fatty acids as butyrate, which regulate glucose metabolism, reduce inflammation, and how even this is another rabbit hole. What is short chain fatty acids? How are they made from our gut bacteria? And how butyrate actually helps the cells of the gut wall lining. So, really important to have that butyrate production. Hormone regulation, gut flora impacts our hunger hormone. So, really, gut health with metabolic health is really important. Ghrelin, leptin, and looking at healthy gut improves our immune system and knowing that our immune system is 70, 89% in our gut. So working on that gut health. So really looking at improving how we age today. So looking at our future self, what we can do as you can look at different books I love to read about designing your future self comes down to the mitochondria. So yes, we have the microbiome, metabolic health markers, but work backwards and looking at mitochondria, as you know by now, are powerhouses of the cell. They produce energy through glycolysis, through the Krebs cycle. Oxidative phosphorylation is using fat for fuel, carbohydrates for fuel, and healthy mitochondria are essential for metabolic flexibility. So we're shifting between fat or carbohydrates, performance gains, and longevity. If you are struggling with fatigue, poor recovery from workouts, and brain fog. You struggle with fat oxidation, and we can identify this when we do your metabolism test. So improving mitochondria health helps reduce oxidative stress, improve energy production efficiency, boosting new mitochondria, and working on improving your metabolic flexibility so you can have fuel sources that you shift from burning fat. And then when you go to carbohydrate required exercise, you come back to burning fat afterwards. So based on the availability, so what you eat matters, and then when you eat and timing it in and around your workouts. And this is important for fat loss, as burning stored fat at rest, and lower carbohydrates, but using the right type of fuel in and around your workouts. We've talked a lot about strategic carb timing. So utilizing carbohydrates during high intensity exercise just a little bit before helps a lot. Looking at S fuels is a good option. Supporting cellular repair and reducing metabolic stress is about longevity. So if you have signs of poor metabolic flexibility, that could be correlated with difficulty losing weight, energy crashes after meals, poor endurance, you struggle to go a longer workout, performance during exercise is struggling. Maybe you're not good at burning fat, so you can't go a long time without eating all the time, eating carbs. So how do you improve metabolic health, metabolic flexibility, and mitochondria? So eating nutrient-dense whole foods, unprocessed, avoiding the seed oils, combining protein with healthy fats, proper human diet, as Dr. Ken Berry talks about. Having nature's carbs for energy for high intensity workouts, timing your meals, experimenting with fasting as a 12 hours isn't really fasting. It should be normal that we're not eating, say, 7 p.m. until 7 a.m. Carb cycling is an option that you, based on your training performance needs. So that's where we work on coaching, figuring out your nutrition. And then increased your production of short chain fatty acids by having right type of prebiotics and probiotics to support gut health. So you have the good bacteria making more butyrate. So we do that with functional lab testing and then work on what foods you need to add. Maybe it's even working backwards, work on that vagal nerve, work on digestive enzymes, working on slowly eating your food mindfully, and chewing your food might be something to start with before you start taking supplements. So strength training is important. Improving insulin sensitivity by building muscle, really important. I think more people need to lift weights more than they're doing the HIIT training, but you can combine all this together. You can lift weights and do some sprint 20 seconds at the finish. That will help build metabolic flexibility, help create new mitochondria. And then there's zone 2, varies how much you need it, but improving your fat oxidation and your endurance. Then we have sleep, as poor sleep disrupts insulin sensitivity and recovery. And then we have my favorite, talking about chronic stress, as that elevates your cortisol, disrupting metabolism. And that is my story. Life is not a race, it is a journey. Environmental toxins, reduce exposure. Look at your toxins, look at your household cleaners, look at your washer, dryer cleaners, your incense, your candles. Really look at your whole toxins that could be in your household. You can choose Myers. You can make your own products. There's lots of easy ways to get rid of those chemicals in your household. And then, supplement where you're not getting your food from your food. So if you're not doing a smashed fish diet or the sardine challenge, adding in an omega-3 supplement, helpful for reducing inflammation, helps mitochondria function, it says. Berberine instead of metformin can be beneficial. I like the one on my full script. Sean Wells told me is the best, that has a type of berberine that's more absorbable, and it's glucovantage, I think it's called. CoQ10 supports mitochondrial energy production, and then of course magnesium we need for energy metabolism, and magnesium is used in many different functions in our body. And then cold thermogenesis and sauna therapy stimulate metabolic adaptations and mitochondrial health. So if you're trying to lose weight, working on prioritizing protein, optimize your hormones, thyroid, cortisol, insulin, get them all in balance, add more movement in throughout the day, making sure you're having a slight calorie deficit without extreme restriction, not really counting calories, but being mindful of what you're eating, when you're eating, and timing that with your exercise. If I'm not exercising much, you don't need, hopefully you're not eating the same amount, but always getting that protein in. The oxidation, be careful with fasted cardio, especially women don't do as well as men if you're doing a zone 1-2 workout. So performance wise, we want to look at combining fats, proteins, recovery, nutrition, periodizations. We're training. So that's where we work on coaching. And then back to the main focus today is longevity, insulin sensitivity, support autophagy, fasting, exercise, heat exposure, reduce inflammation, mitochondria, muscle metabolism. So that is a good rabbit hole to go down if you want to know about how this all works and how we tie in mitochondria health with metabolism testing and the functional lab testing that I do. So if you can find someone to do a PNOE testing, that's going to help us figure out your metabolic efficiency and give us some clues about your mitochondria health. How well do you deliver oxygen and use it in your cells? And then we can also add in some blood sugar, insulin testing, fatty acid profile. How well is your body burning fat? Mitochondria function. You can look at nutrient deficiencies, gut health. So lots of things you can do. So target training as metabolism testing, doing the functional lab testing will help you with getting a personalized program. And then I was diving into the vagal nerve, as we'll talk about in a free webinar on January 8th at 9 a.m. Pacific time, vagal nerve activation. So looking at how does the vagus nerve help us with our recovery, our digestion, our repair. So really interesting on how the vagus nerve is connected to the parasympathetic nervous system. So how we can shift back from sympathetic fight or flight and shift back to rest digest. So the seminar we're doing in January will help get through some of this information on common questions. People are testing heart rate variability, but not maybe understanding it all. Okay, so then the muscle metabolism, I did a whole intake of dive in on muscle metabolism and slow twitch versus fast twitch muscle fibers. If you want to geek out, you can read through that and how we measure metabolism in PNOE testing, carbohydrate metabolic pathways, and go into that. Now, how does this all to do with NAD as I started with? So NAD, I was really geeking out here. So if you look at oxidase phosphorylation, for example, if you have oxygen available, pyruvate enters in the mitochondria, undergoes further oxidation, pyruvate, blah, 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 goes through the Krebs cycle. This cycle, going through the convert pyruvate acetyl-CoA in the Krebs cycle, this cycle produces NADH, FADH, and carbon dioxide as byproducts. The next step, NADH and FADH transport electron transport chain where oxidative phosphorylation takes place. You don't have to understand this, but just note NADH and then byproducts, carbon dioxide and water. Keep in mind this is another topic, but 30 to 38 ATP per glucose molecule versus fat oxidation. I went into that later, and there's a lot more. So NAD is part of this energy that we ask our body to do. So if you want to go into this whole rabbit hole of what impacts our mitochondrial health, how do we create energy? But a lot of this is requiring the role down here, NAD. So NAD is a vital coenzyme found in all living cells. It plays a crucial role in cellular processes, especially in energy metabolism, cellular repair, maintaining mitochondria function. So diving into this mitochondria health, muscle metabolism, we talk about how is it correlated with NAD+, linking it all together to produce energy. NAD as the focus is how we can improve our current self so we can be our best self in the future. NAD is involved in energy production. So someone asked me if we could take one supplement, what would it be as you age? And I was thinking, would it be NAD? How I can improve more energy and support my mitochondria? Maybe it would be something precursor to NAD production. So go into all this if you want. This is something I think interesting to dive into. We'll do a podcast on this. NAD and mitochondrial health, how it's all related. NAD muscle fatigue resistance, aging NAD and muscle health, NAD mitochondria dysfunction. So when NAD levels are low, mitochondria function becomes compromised, and this can result in impaired ATP production, limiting oxidative phosphorylation. The muscles have less energy available for contraction, leading to fatigue. Lack of NAD leads to reduced capacity for antioxidant defense and DNA repair. This leads to more oxidative damage in the mitochondria, which can exacerbate more muscle fatigue and slow recovery. And then we've got decreased muscle mitochondrial biogenesis. Without enough NAD, the process of creating new mitochondria slows down, leading to a decline in the number of energy-producing organelles available to the muscle cells, impairing endurance and muscle performance. So, NAD plays a critical role in muscle metabolism, mitochondrial health. Its involvement in energy production, mitochondrial biogenesis, DNA repair, stress response makes it a key factor for maintaining muscle function, endurance, and recovery. As a regulator of mitochondrial efficiency, NAD plus helps muscles adapt to the demands of exercise, resist fatigue, recover quickly after strenuous activity. Maintaining healthy NAD levels, either through diet, exercise, or supplementation, can optimize mitochondria health and improve overall muscle performance as we age. I am motivated to improve at age. So then if you look at one item, I used this years ago and started taking the supplement again. True Niagen, check out their website, trueniagen.com. And this explains it a little bit more in depth. Using and regenerating energy through your cells. Coenzyme that binds with proteins called NAD plus plays a vital role in processes your body. NAD plus helps create cellular energy and supports cellular repair throughout your trillions of cells and organs throughout your body. So what they use, True Niagen, is a precursor to make NAD plus. As we age, NAD's supply declines in a response to stressors in your body, especially as us endurance athletes, I think even more so. But alcohol consumption is another part, as well as I said, intense exercise, lack of sleep. But Dr. Charles Brenner discovered natural occurring vitamin in milk called nicotinamide riboside. And this micronutrient increases NAD levels by 40 to 50%. So it can be found in certain foods. You cannot get anywhere near the amount you need through normal diet. So we need to supplement what we can't get enough of through our food. And this is one solution to increase NAD plus levels. So check out their videos, their website. I'm trying to get them on a podcast, but just lots of research on here and how this form of vitamin B3 to raise NAD plus. And you can see the importance of a placebo versus Niagen, increase NAD plus. So they have lots of clinical studies. So check out that benefit, healthy aging, cellular health, muscle health, brain health, all these areas that I want to improve. So they have the True Niagen Pro 1,000 milligram one. I've been taking just 100 milligrams. And they have a new IV coming out called Niagen. So I just wanted to share that. I will do a podcast on this topic. But if you want to learn more, trueniagen.com. Code, I think we should have discount code, COACHDEBBIEPOTTS, but check it out. And I want to improve this myself. So check out the video and learn more. Let me know if you have any questions. Just a little thought, end of the day. I'm going to go for my walk. Then I'm going to do my sauna, hang out a little bit, 30-minute TV with my blue blockers on. And then I'm doing my yoga stretching. All right. That's my evening routine. It's kind of time consuming, but I sleep better with my routine. No eating 3 hours before bed. So I've stopped eating after my afternoon meal. I eat lunch, dinner at 2:30. And then I go for a walk, 5:30, 6, chill, sauna. Will be after my walk, 30 minutes in the sauna. So being healthy is a commitment. It takes time. It's an investment. But if you want to be your best self when you're 89 years old, this is where we start. Red light therapy, infrared sauna, time out in nature, sunrise, sunset, get that sun exposure to that light and get time in nature. Thanks, guys.